Welcome to SME Insights at the SME Mission Critical Workforce 2030 exhibit at the Manufacturing Technology Series East. I'm Greg Jones. I'm Director of Strategic Programs and Partnerships with SME. And today I'm talking with Derek Schroeder, Universal Machines Sales and Proposal Manager for Grob Systems. In this conversation on SME Insights, we're going to talk about the apprenticeship program that's been in place at Grob Systems since the company first founded itself here in the United States. Derek, welcome to SME Insights.
Thank you, Greg. It's glad to be here. We're always proud and happy to talk about our apprenticeship at Grob.
Super. I've visited the plant a number of times, and I've seen some of the growth there. Can you talk about when Grob first landed here in the U.S.?
Sure. So we started in the U.S. In 1983. At the beginning, it was just a sales and service office. So we really didn't start our real presence until 1990 when we built the first production area. At that time, it was really small, I think 20 or 30 employees. But really at the beginning, we started with our apprenticeship in 1990. First class was 6 apprentices at the time. It's been in place since the beginning there and has continually grown since then. So as of today, we are close to 950 employees with over 500,000 square foot manufacturing facility. Yeah. So we're actually building the Grob automation, machining centers from start to finish there, really starting from raw material through the assembly process, runoff. So very complex work. So we need a highly trained staff to support those activities. So.
Yeah, and I think talking with you and the team prior to this meeting, you started with about 45,000 square feet?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, and now you're 500,000?
That's right. Yeah, so we just finished the latest expansion. We moved in about a month ago. We added around 100,000 square foot extra onto the plant, mainly just to increase overall capacity. A lot of that area is dedicated to logistics and our sub-assembly area, but overall just allowed our company to grow with more capacity.
Yeah. And how many employees there now?
Yeah, it's around 950 now.
Yeah.
Been a lot of growth over the last couple of years,
yeah.
So apprenticeship's been important for that.
At one time I visited years ago, and you were at a point where most of the employees had been through the apprenticeship program, but now you've just been growing so much you've had to go external to the company to find new workers too, right?
Yep, that's right. So I think roughly today a third of the workforce is past or current apprentices. And when we look at more specifically about employees who are in the production area, I think it's greater than that. It's probably 40 or 50% of the technical staff there is past or current apprentices. So it's a really important piece of our company there.
Yeah, that's great. I find these days that it's mainly German and Swiss and Austrian companies that do foreign direct investment into the U.S. who have registered apprenticeship programs at their companies. We've sort of lost it in our DNA here in the U.S. among American companies. I always like to say that the year that I was born, my father was an apprentice tool and die maker. Mm-hmm. I ended up in this part of manufacturing, but never on the shop floor myself. Yeah. But let's talk about the culture that it takes for a company to do an apprenticeship program. It is kind of distinctly European now coming to the U.S.
Yep. So you mentioned German apprentices. So Grob is a German company. It's still owned by the Grob family. So we're kind of copying a lot of the curriculum and the structure of the program is from our plant in Germany. So that's kind of how it started, was when we copied that production facility to the U.S., we took along a lot of the standards that they did as well.
Yeah.
But from a culture standpoint, really when we look for apprentices, it's a lot about, looking for people who want to be in a technical trade, who want to work with their hands, who want to create something. And that's ultimately what we do there. We're creating machining centers and automation, and someone who has that drive to do those activities is really who we're looking for in the program.
Yeah, good. most people are aware that a registered apprenticeship training program requires dual training with a school involved, and your program's been in place for a number of years. I know at the beginning you worked with a community college in Ohio. Administrators and educators come and go over the years at those colleges. You're now working with which college?
Road State in Lyman, Ohio.
Yeah.
Is about 20 minutes away from Grob. We've been with them, I think 2012 was when we went to that structure. It kind of changed along the way. The program has always been a journey person's card at the end of the program. But now with going to Rhodes, it's now in conjunction with that, they get an associate's degree in engineering technology.
Super.
So they get all the coursework and for the associates, plus all the hands-on training that's required for the journey person's card. So
Okay.
it's,
And this is a 4-year apprenticeship?
yeah, it takes 4 years start to finish.
Yep. And do they receive the associates after the first 2 years? Or
Round about 2 years. There's some
Okay.
of the classes which are can stretch into the third year, but
Yep.
for the most part, it's shortly after the second year that they've completed the associate's degree.
Yep.
In the first 2 years, they go to class 2 days a week. They work the other 3. Some of the classes are actually at Grob, so the instructors come to Grob, so they don't have to leave the facility there. And then within those first 2 years, basically, the first year they're doing projects, so they're learning basic skills, really, like I said, the basics, hand tools, files, hacksaws, really to learn patience and how important those things are and what it feels like, when you get to a drill press or a mill or lathe, like, cranking the handles, you can feel what it feels like to remove material. And,
Yeah.
we feel like that's a lot of stuff you can't learn in a textbook, so we teach it in our facility. So that's a lot of the first year is those projects. Even the projects can include things like not only machining but assembly. So we teach what our procedures are for assembling part of a machine, or how to wire a panel for an electrical panel, how to create a cable according to a drawing. So it's not only machining, but it is more assembly processes within that time. And then
they're taking electrical and mechanical
and
classes, hydraulics,
And then in year 2, they basically do a rotation through almost every department in the company. And that's not to make them experts at any really one thing, but to really make them well-rounded so they can understand, why this department does certain things, or what's important to come to them ahead of time. We always talk like every department has a customer, and it's the next one down the line, right? So what are the requirements everyone's expecting?
Yeah.
Really just to make them well-rounded. And then in year 3 and 4, they will basically get placed into a final department. Depending where we need people, depending what their skills are, it could be, fabrication, subassembly, final assembly, debug. So we really use it throughout the company where they end up going. So after year 4, then they're completed with it.
Yeah. How many apprentices did you say you had right now? Is it 60?
We'll start the next class in a couple weeks, and there will be 62 starting. It'll be our largest that we've done so far. I think the previous largest was around 50 or 55 in a single year. So,
and I imagine there's an application process.
Yeah. So,
how many applicants do you typically get?
Yeah, this year I know it was over 200.
Okay.
So, quite a few more than we were looking for.
Yeah.
But they interview hard too. They really not only look at, they take aptitude tests to make sure they understand the basics, but really from a culture, a work ethic that, did they take school serious? Did they show up to school?
Yeah.
Did they get good grades? Are they interested in doing, working with their hands and creating things? So it's not only the aptitude test. We're looking for some of those let's say soft skills as well.
Yeah, and even the fact that they need to have their own transportation because they're coming to work, but also going to school that's 20 miles away.
That's right. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it really the area where we are, it's pretty rural, so pretty common for everyone to have their own form of transportation, but it is a requirement.
Yeah, I'm from Ohio, so I can say this too. It's pretty flat out there in Northwest Ohio, and the plant really stands out in the landscape out there. Yeah. Pretty flat. To get 200 applicants, that takes a little bit of work too.
Yeah.
So can you talk about the outreach that you're doing? It sounds like it's way beyond doing just manufacturing day in October.
Yeah, for sure. And they've really grown that too. I mean, in the past 10 plus years, they've taken the program from less than 10 apprentices per year to now we're at 60 some per year. So that didn't happen by itself. They really had to do it intentionally, start going and recruiting at schools, and not only in high school, but starting at younger grades, going out and doing STEM projects, getting kids interested in manufacturing and creating things. But it also was important to not only reach the guidance counselors and the teachers, but the parents as well. So there's a couple of things we do regularly through the year to really bring awareness to it, get people comfortable with it, because everyone thinks manufacturing, or I think maybe a dirty work environment, and it's not at all what we're doing. We're working
not
with
at that plant.
highest technology and very complicated work. So on the outreach to the schools, they bring in busloads of kids, teachers, guidance counselors at roughly, I think, 20 plus tours they'll do per year with the kids. And then they'll also open up the plant once per month on a Saturday to allow the families, the parents, the kids to come and really experience it and understand what the program is and who the company is. Right?
And you guys have a dedicated staff person who's going out and doing the outreach at in the communities, right?
Yeah. So it takes a lot to run the program, right? You got the outreach, you got dedicated instructors who have been in the company many years and who know it in and out and have lived it, and now they can pass that on to the next group. So.
And speaking of living it, you started at the company as an apprentice yourself, right?
That's right. Started there in 2004. Really, I went there because I like to create things. I always liked working with my hands, so it was a natural fit for me. At that time, it was 6 of us in the class per year, so it was quite smaller, but same format as it is today. And in my journey, I've worked in many different areas. I've ran machining centers. I've built machining centers and automation. I worked in applications where I'm working on customer test parts and turnkeys and such. Done some service work, some training for customers, and over the past 5 years, I've been moved into sales. So now I'm getting to go out and see customers, see how they're making parts. It really interests me. I like to see what's all happening out in manufacturing. Everyone's doing something different. It's
the different applications that are out there.
Yeah, it's always something different, so I really enjoy that part of it.
Yeah, the parts on display in your exhibit here at the MT Series East are very distinct, very different. Each own application for each company that needs to manufacture, whether it's automotive, aerospace. You're doing medical industry?
Yeah, some medical. We touch a lot of different industries. I mean, primarily Grob has come from an automotive background, but over the past 15 years with our new products and universal machines, we really branched out in other markets. So, and that's helped fuel our growth and kind of why we need such a large workforce and so on. Yeah.
Well, meeting you a week or 2 weeks ago on the Teams call, I thought it was really interesting that you came through the program and are now in a sales position. And Grob really looks at, we tend to talk about this as career pathways in manufacturing. You guys look at it more like I'll call it a career ladder system, which is how you went from the apprenticeship program to the shop floor, did some assembly too, and now you're in sales. That's great.
So there's many roles in the company that apprentices have gone to, whether it's sales or project management. Some have moved in, further to education after the apprenticeship and went on to engineering. So all those roles in the company, a vast technical knowledge helps out a lot, right? Yeah. So for my role, when I go to customers and I've lived it, I've turned the handles, and I know what all that means, and it helps us create solutions for them and understand what their problems are.
Yeah.
And that's can be true throughout many different areas in our company. So.
Yeah, good. I don't think I asked you, there are young women in the apprenticeship program
Yes,
too?
there is, yeah.
Just a handful, or is that growing too?
Does
it change from year to year?
It changes year to year, and it's grown. I know, talking with one of the instructors, there's not necessarily... It's an industry which is mainly male dominated, right?
Yeah.
So
we got to change that though. Right?
Yeah. But yes, it's definitely something we want to increase and have been working to. So
yeah. Just out of curiosity, in the outreach, do many of the schools that you see, are they doing FIRST robotics programs or VEX robotics programs, and do you see kids coming in from those?
Yeah,
teams?
so as far as like other local trade schools, or vocational programs, there's definitely applicants and employees that we get, or apprentices that we get, that went through that, who got a little more experience in that, and they knew what they wanted to do and started a little bit early.
Yeah.
Some of them may even come in with some of the classes already completed, and they're just ahead in the coursework. And I was talking to someone recently where one of the apprentices actually had taken a lot of the programs ahead of time, and now they're on a path to get a bachelor's degree in that 2 to 3 year period.
Yeah.
They started working ahead while in high school.
Yeah.
So there's different ways to handle it depending what.
Yeah. So they get credit for what they've already studied and been certified in. That's great. Well, Derek, thanks for joining me here. Your story is great. The story of Grob and your apprenticeship program is super and worth telling here on SME Insights. So thank you.
Thanks for having me. It's good to spread the good word about it. So
absolutely.
All right. Thank you.